Hey everyone, welcome to the video, going over the late main slate for today on DraftKings. Sorry this video is coming out so late. I've been very busy with the early slate and NASCAR. A lot of stuff going on there and a bunch of sports going on. But anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. You can also get access to all this stuff I'm going to be showing you here and stuff I'm not going to be showing you, like Slack chat, article, pitching model, and hitting model. That's all available on Patreon. I'll put the link in the description below if you want access to that. And yeah, I think that's it. So anyway, let's get into the cheat sheet. So Garrett Cole, 11,100. He's the clear spend up for me today, and the way this slate works out, I think it's going to be pretty easy to fit him in. He's been dominant this season with a 36% K rate. I know the matchup isn't incredible versus the Angels. They don't strike out a lot, but losing Listella is a boost for Cole. But he's the clear ace of this slate. I don't think anyone else has his kind of upside, so I'm going to be looking to spend up for Garrett Cole. And then Kenta Maeda at 7,700. He's going to be the chalk SP2. Padres are a team I love using righties against as they have struggled mightily versus them. They do have some power, but the price is nice, and the Padres K a ton versus righties. So Maeda makes sense. The Cole-Maeda pairing makes a lot of sense today. And then Robbie Ray, more of a GPP option at 7,900. Rockies have good numbers versus Ray, but don't forget that that's mostly Coors Field coming into play. Rockies are a whole different team on the road, and Greinke mowed them down last night. I was all about Greinke yesterday. He went well. So I think Robbie Ray can have similar success. I mean, the Rockies have been really struggling versus lefties away from Coors. I don't know if you guys remember, was it a week ago? Mad Bum killed them. Even Drew Pomeranz killed them. So I think Robbie Ray's got a big K upside and can get double-digit strikeouts here. Although guys like Don Arenado do concern me a little bit versus him, but I still like Robbie Ray in the matchup. And then at catcher, James McCann at 4,400. He's been hitting the ball really well this year, and he's a guy I always like to target versus lefties. Yadi Molina at 3K. He's getting near punt category at 3K and facing a lefty, so he gets the platoon advantage there. But it's not the best matchup in the world versus Mad Bum, but he's still pretty cheap and he's got upside. And then Omar Narvaez at 3,900. Bassett's been pretty bad versus lefties, allowing 225 ISO and an extremely high 14% walk rate, and he's allowing a lot of hard contact as well. And Omar's been pretty solid versus Ray so far this season. So I do like Omar. And then obviously if you want to punt all the way down, I'm sure there's an option down there. I didn't see too much down there, but we'll have to see once lineups break. And then at first base, we have Paul Goldschmidt at 3,400. Finally, he homered last night. I think I've been on him the past 4 nights. He was okay the past 2 nights, and then finally got that home run I was looking for. So see if he can do it again. It's not the best matchup versus Mad Bum, but he still hits lefties very well, and he's just way too cheap at 3,400. And then Yuli Gurriel at 4,400. I do like the Astros stack, and he's an affordable piece of it. He's also been hot recently, hitting the ball really well, although Coors may have helped that just a little bit, but he still had some good games outside of Coors. So I do like Yuli. And then Matt Olson at 4,700. It didn't work out last night for Matt Olson. I like the spot. I'd play it again, and I'm going to do it again. If I'm going to be fully stacking the A's, no one's going to play him at this price, but he's been elite in lefty-on-lefty matchups this season, and he came in below 5% owned last night, just how I wanted. It didn't work out, but that's baseball. But I do like him again versus another lefty. He has got a 367 ISO versus lefties and respectable numbers all around. So don't mind Olson. Although I mean it's not a core play for me, but it's just someone I wouldn't leave off of full ace stacks because I think that's a good way to be different if you're going to be stacking the ace. Because I do think they'll be pretty popular. Then at second base we have Robbie Cano at 3,100. He's way too cheap facing Arrieta, who really struggles with lefties. I do like the Mets lefties as a nice stack tonight, and they are pretty affordable. And then Jose Altuve, 4,200. I think he's going to be pretty high owned, him and Cano, but I still like him at this price, especially facing a lefty. And Heaney's allowing a lot of power and hard contact to both sides of the plate. And Altuve is smashing lefties this season. I believe his ISO is at 391. I know it's not a big sample size, but still, it's pretty massive, 391 ISO. Then Jose Rondon at 2,200. This is just a pump play if you need it. I'd rather get Cano. It makes me feel a lot better, but don't need a ton here to pay off value. And then we have at third base Alex Bregman. Like I said with Altuve, I like these righties versus Heaney today, and Breg has been a lefty smasher in his career. He's got over 300 ISO versus them. Yuli Gurriel already talked about. Matt Chapman at 4,500. Marco does not miss a lot of bats. He's got a pretty low strikeout rate, and this Oakland team hits lefties extremely well. And Chapman has been smashing lefties with a 346 ISO. I know the A's kind of disappointed last night. They didn't do too well, but I think it's a nice bounce back spot. And the Mariners bullpen is very hittable. Very hittable. Then at shortstop, we have Bregman. Already talked about him. Paul DeJong at 3,500. Like Goldie, he's just too cheap for how good he's been versus lefties this season. And Goldie finally homered, so maybe it's Paul's time to, the other Paul, to homer tonight. And then Marcus Semien 4,300. I just copy and paste what I said about Chapman. And then the high-end outfield, we have George Springer at 5,400. I like the Astros stack, and he's been elite versus lefties this season and in his whole career with an ISO above 300. He is expensive, though, but he's in a good spot. Cody Bellinger, 5,600. No one's going to play him versus Paddock, I'll tell you that. But he's been much more hittable with lefties. Paddock has I think it's like almost a near 15% drop-off in K rate when it comes to lefties, and he's allowing a 200 ISO versus them. And that's not a good profile to have versus lefty-heavy Dodgers team. So I'm not interested in Paddock at all, which I don't think a lot of people are anyway, but Bellinger would be a sneaky spend up if you want. And Yordan Alvarez, 4,800. He doesn't have major splits. It's not how you say it. Where's he at? Oh, okay. Doesn't have any major splits and is giving up a lot of power and hard contact to both lefties and righties, and it's a small sample size. But Alvarez is he does have an ISO of 461 versus left-handed pitching so far, although a small sample size, but he can smash the ball. And he just missed a homer yesterday. It was like a few feet over to the right, it was gone, but close. And then in the mid-range outfield, we have Jock Peterson at 4,300. I do like Paddock as a pitcher, but he's been much more hittable with lefties, and just basically what I just said. And Jock's been not great versus righties in his whole career. He's got over a 300 ISO versus them this season, although he's been cold, so that's why he's so cheap, but I do like the discount we get. And then Mark Canha at 4,300, another cheap ace bat who hits lefties well. Then the whole Mets outfield I like a lot. Dominic Smith, Jeff McNeil, and Michael Conforto, all lefties versus Arrieta, so they are all in play. And then in the value outfield, we have Chris Davis at 3,700. Like I said, the ace, I like the ace tonight, and they're fairly priced. Crush is too cheap with how much power he has versus lefties, 300 ISO. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes chalk dong tonight. I would not want to miss out on that. And then Kyle Schwarber, 3,900. Don't really like using guys versus Giolito, but the outfield's kind of barren tonight. Not a lot of spots I like, especially in the cheap range. And Schwarb's this cheap versus righties always in play. I mean, he's not like a cash game guy to me versus Giolito, but I do think he's a fine option. Then Jose Martinez at 3,500, cheap righty versus Mad Bum, who I don't love full stacking against, but one-off righty power is in play for me. And if we go to some of the core plays and stacks, we got Garrett Cole at 11,100 and Kenta Maeda at 7,700. Although for GPP, if you want to fully stack another offense, I don't mind going with Robbie Ray and Maeda as a pairing as well. Then we got Goldie at 3,400 and Chris Davis at 3,700. And then the top stacks for me are going to be the Astros, the Mets, and the Athletics. And I will fill out the rest of that for you guys on Patreon. Alright guys, that's all I got for the video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate that. And I wish you guys the best of luck for today if you are playing NASCAR, UFC, and both baseball slates. Very busy day of fantasy sports. But wish you guys the best of luck.